The new Hearts of Iron 4, No Compromise, No Surrender, transforms the game's core systems and deeply reworks East Asia. Its biggest structural change is the complete Doctrine overhaul, which replaces the old static Doctrine trees with a system that grows organically through use. Grand Doctrines still define the overall philosophy of warfare, but sub-doctrines now give precise specialization in infantry, artillery, support, armor, and operations. The Doctrine overhaul turns doctrines from a passive research tree into something your army grows into through real experience. Instead of clicking down a linear path and being finished forever, you now choose a grand doctrine that defines the general philosophy of your military, and then shape it through a set of specialized sub-doctrines. These sub-doctrines sit inside different tracks, such as infantry, artillery and support, armor and operations. Each grand doctrine is no longer a bundle of fixed bonuses, but a framework that becomes stronger the more you commit to it. The details of your doctrine, what your divisions actually excel at, come from the sub-doctrines you select, and their effects expand gradually as you build mastery with the units tied to them. The key mechanic behind the system is mastery, which represents practical battlefield experience. Mastery increases when your units fight, train, participate through attachés, or share experience inside a faction. Mastery grows separately for each track, so a nation that wants strong armored bonuses must actually field and use armored units. What makes this system interesting is that mastery isn't lost if you hit the cap or haven't chosen a sub-doctrine yet. It's stored until you slot one in, meaning no battle experience is wasted. Smaller countries develop mastery more efficiently than major powers, which gives miners a more dynamic and rewarding playstyle than before. Their limited armies can now progress doctrinally at a pace large empires struggle to match. As mastery accumulates, each track reaches milestone thresholds that strengthen your grand doctrine itself. These milestones unlock some of the most powerful bonuses, which means the full strength of a doctrine only appears when you actively use the parts of your military that doctrine focuses on. Because these milestones depend on your chosen sub-doctrines, switching them later wipes out that progress. Changing an entire grand doctrine late in the game erases everything, making drastic mid-war changes extremely costly and discouraging doctrine swapping after the war begins. Army spirits are now woven into this system as well. Many spirits are tied to completing sub-doctrine tracks, and once earned they become permanent institutional advantages your nation keeps even if you later alter your doctrine. This makes them feel like hard-earned traditions rather than temporary bonuses. All of this makes doctrines feel alive. Your army becomes stronger because it fights, trains, and evolves, not because you clicked a button in the research tab. The system rewards specialization and long-term planning, makes early strategic choices more meaningful, and allows every country to express its military identity through the way it actually conducts war. Japan plays radically differently in this update. Instead of beginning as fascist, it now starts non-aligned to reflect its 1936 political reality. Japan's entire focus tree has been rebuilt around internal factional struggle between the army, navy, civilian government, and Zaibatsu industrialists. These factions constantly push for influence, grant bonuses or penalties, and shape what parts of the tree are even accessible. The historical path still leads toward fascism and the greater East Asian co-prosperity sphere, but Japan no longer fully controls the timing of the China War. Both the army and navy can be reformed, allowing Japan to escape historical weaknesses in tanks, radar, or aircraft production. Ahistorical paths now have far more depth. The imperial way can build a more direct rule empire. Democratic Japan must survive a military coup and then industrialize rapidly. And communist Japan can either centralize into a Leninist state or form a rural socialist coalition that seeks to reshape Asia independently of the USSR. China has been rebuilt from the ground up. The map is more accurate, borders revised, and communist China now begins with 2 states, though one contains nationalist loyal garrisons that must be overcome. Both major Chinese factions get enormous, intricate trees, The Chinese Soviet Republic starts at rock bottom, recovering from the long march and crippled by national spirits that limit construction and army organization. Its gameplay revolves around rebuilding, managing power struggles, and choosing between mass guerrilla warfare or a more professional Soviet-style army. It can infiltrate other Chinese states, initiate border wars, sabotage enemies, and eventually unify the country by becoming the leader of the United Front, or by betraying it. The nationalists focus on governing a fractious Kuomintang, where military leaders, the blue shirts, and even democratic reformers compete for control. They can delay the Japanese invasion through concessions, lean on foreign lenders for industry, mobilize for protracted defense or decisive battle, or even embrace a full democratic transformation supported by the Chinese diaspora in the United States. Every path leads toward unifying China, but with vastly different tools and end goals. The Philippines gains an expansive and flexible tree built around the struggle for independence. The country begins as a U.S. Commonwealth with a weak economy and terrible army but a strong trade position. The early game revolves around choosing alignment with either the United States or Japan, each unlocking different advisors, equipment, and subsidies. Economic milestones reduce the long timer on the National Defense Act, the key focus that transforms the Philippine military from dysfunctional to competent players, can remain loyal to the U.S. and benefit from a massive American rearmament program, or pivot to Japan for faster independence. A more radical path enabling a fascist coup backed by Japan or a reconciliation with Spain that leads to a monarchist kingdom under a Spanish claimant independence can be won peacefully or violently, and once free, the Philippines can form a powerful navy that leverages patrol boat sub-doctrines and even command parts of the Japanese fleet. This update for Heart of Iron 4 turns East Asia into one of the most strategically and narratively rich parts. Japan becomes a complex, faction-driven great power. China becomes a multi-layered political battleground with drastically different playstyles. And the Philippines evolves into a dynamic minor with multiple ideological routes and meaningful naval potential. With the Doctrine Overhaul tying military development to real battlefield experience. All three nations gain far more distinctive, historically grounded, and mechanically varied gameplay than before.